Hello everyone and welcome back to No Man's Sky. I'm currently on the galactic map. I've installed the Super Hyperdrive mod, so this apparently extends the length of our jumps by 1,000 times. I don't actually know if it works yet, so let's actually try that out. Let's actually let me do it. Yep, I can totally do this. 5,000 light years, no problem. Alright, so we're not going to head exactly towards the center. We're going to jump a little close and then see what the planets are like. My guesses are going to be pretty much the same. One thing I liked about Spore was that you could get some pretty funky planets. And one thing I also liked about Spore is the fact that you had to constantly modify your hyperdrive in order to get close enough. And you know what? We've ever been to an E class? It can't be that different from like a B class, right? I mean, it's only 145,000 light years to the center. It's not that close at all. And unfortunately, we can't move that much faster than this. So unfortunately, the first 10 minutes of this episode are going to be me doing this and poking a star once in a while. Go, that close enough? That close enough? That close enough? It's how it's going to be. Anyway. But I mean, this series has mostly been just about me talking to you guys. So this will be the final episode of this series. We in No Man's Sky about a month and a half, no, more like 2.5 months after its release. What do I think about the game? I think it's a good walking simulator. Will I be playing this game? Not anytime soon, but yes, I am. I think I can say that with pretty much certainty. 22,000 light years, that's not far enough. I want to jump at least, like, I don't know, 60,000 light years, get ourselves underneath that 100,000 mark, just see what happens. I'm definitely going to be playing it again. I think it's fun for what it is, but I'm not going to play it in its current state. I would play it again when it gets patched, and it's going to get patched. Hello Games has promised a patch that will introduce new content, and then I will definitely check that out. What I will probably do is not a stream, or not an episode or a series, but a stream, where we just go and explore, whatever the new patch gives us. And that'll be it. I mean, we'll probably do that for like, a 4-hour stream or something and play around with the new No Man's Sky. And if that means building stuff or whatever the new patch gives us, then that'll be good. But it has to be like a substantive patch. It can't just be, a bunch of bug fixes again. It's got to be something that actually gives us a lot of content to go through. Not just, jumping from planet to planet like we've been doing in the series. Don't get me wrong, the series has been a lot of fun for me. It's been very relaxing. Even just this. This is just so relaxing to be able to just go through a star field like this. I mean, this was a screensaver on one of my first computers. Way back in the day. Anyone remember After Dark? I mean, that is a blast from the past, right? That's from the late 80s, early 90s, I think. I think it was early 90s. Had to be early 90s. Yeah, that sounds right. After Dark was great, and there were even some interactive screensavers, which at that point you just called games, right? But After Dark made them kind of folded into the whole package at the time. If you're not familiar with After Dark, I mean, you can go and do a Google search on them. I don't know if they still exist. It seems like they should. Really, the biggest, their mascot actually is what I should say. Their mascot was flying toasters. Toasters with wings, just flying across your screen at whatever angle you set them at, and they'd pop toast out of their tops, and the toast would fly along with them. And that was one of their first screensavers, and that's why that became their mascot. And they had a lot of stuff like this. They'd have the starscape that you go towards. They didn't have the bright shiny light in the middle, but you were heading towards some kind of destination. Probably didn't have the nebulas changing colors either, though. That would have been a good addition. They probably should have done that if they didn't. But they had a bunch of other things. There was the Castaway, where there was this island, really, really small island that had just enough room for a tree, and there would be a castaway, and every once in a while he would try to get off the island, or he'd throw a bottle over, and then, something cataclysmic would happen. A shark would reach out and eat them, or there'd be a tidal wave, or the tree would fall over, or something would happen, and then, the whole thing would reset. The island would appear in a different spot. And basically, the whole point of the screensavers was back in the day of CRTs, we had to worry about screen burn-in. And 73,000 light years in a single jump. That is pretty crazy. We had to worry about screen burn-in. We had to worry about... we still kind of sort of have to worry about screen burn-in. Every once in a while, I'll get burn-in on my tablet or on my phone if I leave something on for too long. But then it goes away after a while. Same with my e-reader. I still get a little bit of burn-in. But I refresh the screen every, 2 or 3 times, and the lines go away. Back in the day, though, CRT monitors used to, they were shooting electron guns at the screen. That's what was causing the image. And so if they kept shooting the same image over and over again, that image would just be embedded like a photograph negative. If you don't know what a negative is, I don't know how to help you there. Google it. Google it. That's all I can tell you. Google it. But yeah, it would burn into the screen like a negative, and you'd never be able to get rid of it. The only option was to buy a new monitor. Well, that was super expensive. It's super expensive today. I imagine how people felt like it was in the 90s, right? So that's what the screensavers were for. They actually literally saved your screen. They were not just random distractions. And now, of course, that's basically what the whole reason for the attract screen on the arcades. That's what they're doing. They're not just attracting customers to, to play the game. They're also saving the screen on the arcade cabinet, because that would be very expensive to replace. At that point, you're just buying a whole new cabinet. You're not gonna just replace a single piece. Maybe depends on who your repair guy is, but it really depends. So we're gonna jump to... Okay, we're at 100,000 light years away from where we currently are. So this is 1,000 times. We could go, 1,600 light years? So 1,000 times 1,600, we're nowhere near. So yeah, we can keep going. We want to get down to 100,000 somewhere. So yeah, this just reminds me of the... but that's... this game is not exactly a screensaver. You could do it that way, I suppose, if you really wanted to, but that's not what this game's for. But no, this game's been fun. I've had fun with it, but yeah, the next time I play it is definitely going to be in a patch. Whenever that manages to be. If it's 6 months from now, it's really hard to tell. They put the game out, but they also got a lot of refunds, or they had to put out a lot of refunds. I don't know how that works. I don't know if that affects the publisher, if it affects the developer, if it only affects the retailer. I would imagine it would only affect the retailer, because the retailer is really making a bet, right? Saying, I bet I will sell this number, so get me that number of product. If it's keys, or if it's mattresses, or if it's cars, whatever. The retailer's the one really taking the big risk, right? And they're saying, I bet you I can sell this many at your starting price, whatever your recommended MSRP is. They're assuming that you'd sell at the MSRP, but you don't necessarily have to. So as we get closer, this thing just gets more and more laid out, or is that just lens flare? I can't really tell. We're eventually going to get under 100,000 though, right? Oh, okay, sure, turn me right around, baby. Turn me right around. M6, we can still go. I've totally lost the center, though. Where'd the center go? It's around here somewhere. There we go. That's what I wanted. Nope, keep going. Again, I want to get under 100,000. I want to be 99,000 away, and then we'll jump another bit here. But yeah, this is going to take us a while to do. So yeah, I think the retailer is the one who took the hit, so most people got it through Steam, so that's who took the hit. Fortunately, Valve can afford it. And it's always a little bit of a... It's always a little bit of a risk to do any kind of venture, You gotta trust that the big games are gonna sell big bucks, and, but they probably made it up with, 100,000 sales of GTA 5 or whatever. I have been so tempted to play GTA 5, but the reviews... So, the game itself looks, like a regular, normal GTA game, right? I played GTA 3, and then San Andreas, and then I forget what the other one was. I didn't play 4. But all the ones that were basically based on the GTA 3 engine I played. And I had a lot of fun with those. And GTA 5 basically looks like a direct sequel to GTA 3. Kind of just, passes right over GTA 4. Mentions it in passing, but doesn't really focus too much on it. It's really all about GTA 3. And I suppose GTA 3 did have, like, the most memorable characters, but they also weren't very likable. And that really seems to be the case for GTA 5 characters, too. They're not really likable. I mean, at least Saints Row has likable characters. I mean, okay, the boss is definitely, like, a total psychopath. There's no question about that. But you can be a total psychopath and still be, like, fun. And Saints Row is definitely, like, pegged the fun part of it. I'm kind of sad that Volition went away as a publisher, but a lot of the same developers moved over, and now they're making... Shoot, it's kind of like somewhere between, like, Overwatch and a MOBA. I think they're calling it Lawbreakers or something like that. It looks really cool. It looks basically like a multiplayer version of Saints Row 4, and that's really probably what the universe needs right now. We are at... Okay, we're at 10,9,617. So we're going to be just under 100,000, just a little bit. Another few minutes as we pass through here. Boy, they really went crazy with the lens flare and reminded me of the latest Star Treks. They did have some crazy lens flare and they've toned it down in the last 2 movies. I've got to give them credit for that. In Star Trek Beyond, it was still a little crazy, but it wasn't that bad. I mean, the bridge, they definitely, could actually see what they were doing, as opposed to the first reboot of it. It's like, oh my god, how do you even, like, see the screen? You've got to have some crazy reflect. And also, the bridge in the latest Star Trek doesn't make sense, okay? Because it's, like, right out on... It's clearly visible. I mean, it's not a screen. It's, like, a window. Which, I mean, it's like an enhanced window. It's like it has some kind of augmented reality thing that are going on that they can superimpose on top of it, which totally makes sense, but it's still really, really weird. Oh, you know what? We can accelerate. We can totally accelerate with shift. Oh my god, I didn't even realize we could do that. I am so sorry. Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense that you accelerate with shift, because you can totally do that inside the ship too. Okay, well, here. How about here? This should do. Point right here, and oh, not quite underneath 100k. Okay, well, we will totally shift fly through the rest of this. I didn't even realize that was an option. One thing that's kind of weird we don't see a lot of in this game is like the shapes of the nebulas, and maybe we're too close, and that's probably what it is. But we're also we don't have a very deep field of view here, right? So like in regular space, we wouldn't be seeing all this because it'd all be beyond our visible spectrum. But one thing we don't really see, and I guess we see a little bit more of it as I zoom through here, is like the shapes of the nebula and stuff. And we see a little bit, but it looks basically just like clouds. But there's no indication of like, oh, well, yeah, that looks like a seahorse, or that looks like, a crab or something. No, it's just, it's just basic clouds you would go through, if you were going through an atmosphere or something. But there's no indication of like really how big this is, and you kind of get an idea of how big it is based on just, the coloration and the fact that it's changing a little bit, but there's no real indication of what makes it that color. I mean, is it the stars inside? No, because there's not more blue stars inside the blue one, as far as I can tell. Maybe I'm wrong. This is a G-class, right? G-class are yellow. So there's no real indication of what makes all this stellar mass, although it's a little more colorful in this pop right here. So let's go ahead and go to this green star right here. We're at 90,000 light years from the center. That's pretty good. We're jumping something like 150 light years in one go. 150,000, sorry. 150,000 light years. Totally different scale. 150,000 light years in one go. I would expect the load time to be about the same, though. I don't think it's relative to the distance traveled. We will find out, though. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So, yeah, we jumped here pretty quick. No worries. We are going to go ahead and choose a world to land on. I don't think these are going to be very much different. But we are actually, this is our first time past the 100,000 mark, so I'm a little curious. We did, of course, cheat to get here, but that's how it goes. We've been cheating pretty much the whole series, so really, you know, if you want to see someone go there by hand, or through the vanilla method, then I'm sure there's somebody out there somewhere. Oh, look, a landing pad, like, right directly beneath us. That's kind of funny. And crash! Okay, not an actual crash, but we could have totally crashed there and probably have died. Alright, what do you got for me? This looks like a Gek world, actually. Flora is deficient. Fauna is undetected. I have no idea what that means, but I heard a species. Let's see if we got anything when we hit escape. Yeah, apparently there are 10 life forms on this planet somewhere. Undetected apparently does not mean they don't exist. And we hit here. Hold on, we're getting some stutter. There we go. We just go around. Do we see any life forms? Yeah. Yeah, there's a life form over there somewhere, maybe. Or that could be a landing pad, I suppose. Other than that, it's really hard to tell. And all the stutter in the world. It's really hard to tell. You know what? We're going to save this location. What the hell, right? At least that way we can officially say we planted our flag. Granted, there's already a flag. Like, right here, literally, there's already a flag. It'd be cool if that changed the flag that was flying when we originally crashed, and you're going to have to go back to episode 1 because I don't remember what that was. I'm assuming that would be our flag, but I guess that's not necessarily true. Could have been anything. Alright, let's go and jump again. So yeah, this world is pretty similar to any other world we've seen before it. Hey, look, it's Tendril World again. Alright, you know what? I had quite enough of Tendrils like the past 4 episodes, so we're totally fine with skipping over Tendril World. And we're going to jump to the next system anyway. So no big. Eventually when we get off this. There we go. We don't need any themium, so we're just going to leave all this behind. And jump to the next star system. Which is going to take us a while to get to. Okay, so Atlas interface, really? I mean, I guess we could jump directly there? Assuming we could find it. Also, it would stop us, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would stop us. Because it would only take us, like, 10 jumps. I mean, we could try it. We could try it right now. I think it's only going to take us, like, maybe 10 jumps, maybe less, before it just no longer gives us a direction. We can try it, though. I mean, theoretically, it should take us all the way there, right? Because we can jump in, well, I want to say an infinite distance. It's not actually infinite, but it's close. There we go. There's the line. It's also really hard to see the line sometimes, though, so that is an issue. But if we can actually get to an Atlas interface, that'd be nice. But, okay, there we go. There we go. We actually see a line. And we can go to free look anytime we want. So, hold up. You told me there's 2 directions I can go to get to an Atlas interface? There's something highlighted over there. Oh, that's a black hole. Yeah, that's not what I want right now, is it? Yeah, that's the black hole, right? Yeah, that is totally a black hole. I thought the Atlas interfaces were highlighted by a different color. But that's also a black hole, right? It is. Well, no, then it kind of just abandoned us. Alright. Yeah, because it pointed in a totally different location, and maybe we need to jump to a black hole to get there properly. You know what? We're just going to go this way. We're going to shift-click through here. Alright, my commentary's been all over the place. I jumped from, what, Star Trek to game design to retailers to who knows what else. That happens sometimes. I jump around. I have also been called a fickle gamer. I suppose that's true. I mean, I try to keep a little bit more consistent in the series because, you know, that's actually a series and we're actually doing a complete playthrough. But you should have seen me before I was doing a series. I mean, when I played Skyrim for the first time, I did like 15 alts. It took me a while to actually finish the game. And even then, it was just, you know, like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to start here and boost up my level to like level 50 or something because I played so much. And then, like, you know, just hardline the main quest. And even that was just, I mean, it was, no one should ever play Elder Scrolls games expecting the main plot to be good. I had a big problem with Oblivion, and I'm not going to spoil Skyrim's main plot. I know it just re-released, and some people haven't actually played it for, have been actually waiting for the re-release before they actually finish the game. That's totally fair. You can do that. So I'm not going to spoil it for you. I was a little disappointed, but I was not as disappointed as I was with the end of Oblivion. If you haven't finished Oblivion, you should just skip forward like 5 minutes while I babble about it. The end of Oblivion bothered me because it was basically, it wasn't our story. Most stories, so the problem I have is more of a game master problem, right? I've GM'd games before, and the temptation is to let your characters that you are going to have complete control of, to be the heroes of the story. But that's not what being a GM is about. It's about other players having a good time. And having a good time means being the hero of their story. Being able to go and say, we did this wonderful thing, not that we witnessed this wonderful thing happen. And that was the end of Oblivion, is we witnessed this great battle happen, but we didn't actually get to do the battle ourselves. We put the heir to the throne in a position where he could be the hero. And it's like, well, okay, I mean, I'm glad you guys gave us a statue and actually, recognized our contribution as a hero of Kvatch, but we were also the hero of Imperial City, or we should have been, except for the fact that the GM decided that his character was the most important character in the story, and that bothered me on such a fundamental level. And so I stopped playing Oblivion, basically forever. I mean, the rest of the game is great. The side quests are fantastic, and Elder Scrolls, Bethesda does a great game. They do a great game, and that's not quite what I meant to say, but they write a good game. They write a good game in terms of the side quests, in terms of the environmental stories. I mean, the stuff you find tells a story in itself, There's this skeleton in a closet somewhere, and he's buried with the skeleton of a dog, and there's this binder next to him that, tells a story of how this guy and the dog went on these wonderful adventures, and now he's the dog's about to die, and his legs all tore up, and, because they tried to fight a beast that they were unskilled or not quite actually able to fight. And it's like, wow, we found this guy, and someone's been missing this guy for a while. You find a locket, and you're able to take it to his great-granddaughter and say, I found your great-grandfather, and he was apparently this great warrior. And she goes, yeah, I know, and we've been missing this locket forever. It ties you into the world. And they do a great job of world building, but not necessarily a great job of actually telling the main story. And you see this problem a lot. Even George Lucas has this problem. He's made this great fantastical world of, these wonderful, powerful magicians that are great melee fighters, and they call themselves Jedi. And they've had this divide over, in this fight across the galaxy for thousands and thousands of years against people who have ideological differences against them, but the same exact powers. And it's like, okay, wow, that's a really great world you built there. And what have you decided to focus on? Trade sanctions. Really? Really? That's where you're going with that. Okay. I mean, you can do that, but it takes a really good storyteller to be able to pull the reader or the viewer in to be able to say, okay, you know what? I know it's going to be worth the payoff. And it wasn't always worth the payoff, George. I'm sorry. That's how it goes. All right. Where are we now? We are only 38,000 light years away from the center. You know what? We're going to hit 20,000. I'm going to go for 20k. I don't know why 20k, just because 20k sounds good. And then we'll jump 20k down to 3k and see if the highlight here comes any faster, but we'll see. I mean, the light has stayed the same size and shape for this entire time, so that's a little surprising. I would expect it to get more and more dominant as we get closer and closer, but for some reason, no. That's a little weird, right? But if we had done this vanilla, we would not have any trouble amassing the fortune, I think. If we had actually done this vanilla, I think we could have gotten to 30 million easily. I think we could have gotten the Atlas Stones pretty easily. Because they would have been sold and we would have been able to buy them. 30 million? Yeah, that would have been like cake. Money would have just piled up. There would have been no question about it. The trouble is right now is that the galaxy is actually just a little bit too big. 100,000 light years is the size of our galaxy, and I think that would have been just fine. If you had started us out at the absolute edge of, say, our galaxy and, say, go towards the middle, 50,000 light years? Sure, you can do that. Make it like Spore, where it's actually a little bit more difficult to navigate the stars as you get closer and closer to the center. I could see that, yeah. And that would actually be what the different warp technologies do, but then of course you'd be accused of ripping off Spore, right? So, alright, I mean, I can see there's a problem with that, definitely. You know, let's head towards this moon. What the hell? I don't know, we're just gonna go towards some random planet. We're only like 26 minutes in, and we're totally going to miss the moon, aren't we? Are we? Or are we gonna barely hit the atmosphere? It's so hard to tell. We're bouncing around so much, and I can't exactly steer at this speed. We'll find out. I can't pronounce that name, though. Zisusungasas? I don't know. I don't know. They're just throwing consonants together at that phrase. I mean, maybe there's some language that has those kind of phonemes all strung together like that. But, I mean, that would just have to be a learned behavior, right? Oh, yeah, we are totally going to miss this moon. By quite a bit. You know, it's like those asteroids, those near-Earth asteroids, they say, you know, oh my god, I came so close. Yeah, well, it turns out, you know, it's outside the orbit of the moon. So, close is a relative term. Close in a galactic sense? Sure. Yeah, why not? Alpha Centauri is close in a galactic sense. That doesn't mean it's, you know, near enough for us to drive over. And yeah, we're totally going to miss this moon. Alright, step back. And now head towards it. Maybe? Nope, totally messed that up because we can't pilot at top speed for some reason. Alright. There we go. Do that. That should work. I don't know why the moon. Just because the moon was in our sights, really. Alright. I don't expect this to be much different, but only 20,000 light years away from the center. But yeah, I mean, I think they went a little bit too hard on the scale of the galaxy. Also, we tried to scale out, and we didn't actually see, like, the edge of the galaxy, so that's another problem, right? Is that there is actually no edge. The galaxy just seems to go on continuously forever. But it's already kind of weird that the universe doesn't work that way, right? What do we got? It's sunny, sentinels are limited, fauna is common, but the flora is empty. Yeah, that's pretty empty. I mean, you see these coral reefs even this close to the center of the galaxy. And this really looks like a Gek layout again. Is this Gek? I mean, I don't know if we'd be able to tell. It really looks Gek, though. There's nothing here we can gain any kind of idea. If there was a knowledge stone nearby, maybe? But no indication of that at all. Oh, hello, little guy. Oh, you're totally vicious, aren't you? Are you vicious? No, you're docile. Alright. No, you're just, like, wandering around a bit. Okay. Yeah, sure. Wander around, man. I'm not gonna stop you. Go ahead and save this location. We should probably, you know, give these planets good names. I mean, the regions already have good names. There's no question about that. But at least, you know, if we're gonna leave our mark on the world here, or on the galaxy, we should at least give this a decent name. So how about, Zeunga Ag. Sounds just crazy enough to maybe possibly, you know, leave them a little bit of doubt. You know, did they just leave the standard name, or did they alter it? I can't tell. Well, now you guys know. We're going to call this Seb or a Busto. I like Busto. I like that a lot. And let's see. This one's going to be called I Learned. Yeah, I Learn. I Learn Not. And, I mean, that's already a good name. Frankerire, that's good. Let's just leave that as is. And this one we surprisingly did not do anything with. And I can't read it well enough, so we're just going to have to make it up. Poingo Doingo. How about that? Hey, I was actually expecting the filter to catch me there. I don't know why, just because it's caught us on some weird ones before. But that's okay. Let's get out of here. Up, up, and away. Alright, I think we have one more jump left in us, and I think... well, maybe 2 more jumps. We'll do 2 more jumps. How about that? One that's like maybe 100 light years away from the center, and then one that just goes straight to the center. Alright. I kind of expected us to be grabbed by pirates there for a second, but we weren't. Alright. Path towards really, you're going to try to send me towards the Atlas interface? It's not going to work, dude. I'm not going to do it. Alright, we just need to check a little bit more often just to make sure. And, of course, hit shift. Shift is important because we need to move a little bit faster. Really, I kind of expect... so in my head, I was imagining like a 2-dimensional map when I first started this game. Thinking, you know, okay, it'd be a little bit like Galactic Civilizations, you know? You plot a course to a star and you head towards it, and whatever's in your way is in your way. That's totally not how this works. This is, I know, it's... and we're definitely going faster than light here just to go between the stars this fast. And let's see how close we are here. We are 21,000 light years away from the center. I mean, even if we get within 16,000... no, that's not actually within a jump, huh? Yeah, that's the problem, is our jumps are only 1,600. So that's another... that's 10 times. So we'd be making 10 jumps just from that distance away. So how many jumps would it have taken us to do this in vanilla? Even with our advanced warp drives? We're talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of jumps. Remember, I said that our hyperdrive could carry... I think it could charge up 1,000 warp cells. 1,000 warp cells at 1,600 a jump would be almost enough. Almost. We'd actually need a little bit more just to bridge the gap. It could be enough, but 16,000 warp cells is a hell of a lot of platinum, or not platinum, plutonium. Hell of a lot of plutonium, hell of a lot of iridium, hell of a lot of zinc. You know, basically you need to build up the antimatter, which means you need the electron vapor, you need the suspension fluid, not in that order, the other way around. And then that builds the antimatter, and then you build the warp cell. So all that stuff, that's a lot of mining to do. That's, you know, that's another 200 episodes. So you can see why I'm ending it here, because I don't think I have another 200 episodes of commentary in me. At least not for this game. I need another game to focus on, really, is what it comes down to. Okay, so I think we actually got a little bit off center there, but that's okay. We're still more or less heading towards the center here. How close are we now? We are 4,441 light years. Okay, pretty close. I have no idea what the center looks like. We're probably going to go pretty close, but then, like, miss it because we're going too fast. That's okay. It should bring us close enough that it should make it so that when we say Path to Galactic Center, it should just lead us straight to it. And let's see how close we are now. We are now 768 light years from the center. I say that's good enough. Let's go ahead and jump here. Class F planet, or Class F star, rather. F is close enough to G, I wouldn't expect anything too weird. I mean, it's basically a yellow star. I actually don't know the astronomical difference at all. I'm assuming the star classifications go from A to Z, but I have no idea. Okay. So, this close to the center, I would expect at least something a little bit different. But maybe not. Let's go down here just to see. This looks like it could be an ocean world. Might be wrong. Nope, this is totally ocean world. Alright, I thought maybe it'd be like a desert world and we'd be fooled, but we were not fooled. Yep, archipelago world for sure. A lot more ocean than most of the archipelago world, and floating continent, or floating, not floating continents necessarily, but you know, if it turns out that there are actually planets like this, I will have to apologize to pretty much every anime and video game that has ever postulated that there could be continents floating in the sky. Because if things like this can actually happen in real life, I mean, that means that, you know, Final Fantasy is actually justified. That blows my mind. Looks like we have a lot of flora here. Lots of forest of it. Let's go ahead and land here. I mean, we can land pretty much anywhere. I mean, I'd prefer to land... Yeah, there we go. Prefer to land in an open area rather than in the middle of a forest, but only because there's a possibility that we might get stuck in a tree. It's happened before. Prefer it didn't happen too many times. Alright. Intense cold. Sentinels are aggressive. Alright, that's actually one of the first times I've seen 2 red marks there, but good to know. But intense cold and sentinels are aggressive. Alright. Oh, and we have floating things right there. Those are good for... Is it Magmux? Radnox. That's Radnox up there. There we go. Probably not the best way to harvest that, but still. Alright, and we'll go ahead and grab this beacon just because we can. No sentinels, though. They're aggressive, but it's hard to tell how aggressive that means. And how much they're actually patrolling. There might not be very many guys here. But alright, okay, this is our last planet we're going to be naming, so let's actually name it something a little bit more special than just an anglicization of its original name. So we're going to name it. So what is this, episode 80? So let's actually go ahead and do that. Let's do 80 count milestone. Should be original, but that way you guys will know it's me, and this one will be the last taco stand. Because you know you've got to have your tacos. If you haven't had tacos lately, you should go out and get some. And we're just going to anglicize this one. Yoka Mako. I like it. Alright. Up and away. Let's see what's waiting for us. Even though we don't have enough Atlas Stones, we should at least get, I would expect, maybe not a cutscene, but probably something very similar to the Atlas markers. Very similar to that, I would expect. Be really funny if we ran out of jumps right now, but I think we're fine. Path towards Galactic Core is totally what we're going to do there. 768 light years, whenever you're ready. Hyperdrive has no fuel. Okay, that is actually hilarious. All right, that's okay. We can make some. We have more than enough antimatter. We just need the thamium, and I'm pretty sure we have enough thamium right now, right? Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. So warp cell. I did not actually. I wasn't counting. I just thought it'd be funny, and sure enough, it was. All right, that is actually pretty hilarious. All right. All right. Okay, so no Atlas interface. We're going to go straight towards the center here. Analysis is a whole bunch of question marks. Undiscovered, and linear distance is 6,000 light years. We can totally make that. Let's do it. Okay, not even like a straight... Yeah, okay. So they didn't even really jump us to it. It just remains undiscovered. All right, good enough. You actually going to show me the entire galaxy? You going to show me my path or something? No, you're just going to zoom out, huh? Zooming way out. I do like the music for this game. Supposedly it's procedurally generated based on a couple of good seeds. And they do a fairly good job. I've noticed a couple of repeats every once in a while. I don't actually know if it's procedurally generated or not. It might not be. Are we actually in intergalactic space now? Because that is very few stars that have passed us in the last, like, 20 seconds or so. A lot of clouds, though. Or we could go into the event horizon, in which case we'd only see the bright light of the... Well, I don't know. I don't know what we'd see there. Alright, there it goes. Off in the distance. Bye-bye. Alright. Dark screen and roll credits. Be what I expect. I don't have enough Atlas stones, so not giving me a choice is totally reasonable. Alright, we do actually have... Is this the Atlas interface? New galaxy discovered. Okay. Pushes me to a new galaxy even though I didn't have enough Atlas stones. I did not expect that. So where are you going to drop me then? So it did push me to intergalactic space. Huh. Okay. My understanding was if you have 10 Atlas stones, it asks you if you want to restart, and then it takes you to another galaxy. I didn't realize it took you to another galaxy regardless. So did we end up on a crashed ship again? Did we end up with our crashed ship? I hope we get to keep our ship. If not, I mean, it doesn't really matter because I'm not going to be playing... Oh, yeah, it's going to totally start us over from scratch. Is that going to be our ship, though? I mean, I would assume we still have 48 slots in our ship, on our suit, but I don't know that. All right. I mean, this is basically starting us completely over. Yeah, okay, we have 2 health. I mean, I don't think that's changed in a little while, so that's standard. I mean, we should have like 4 health by standard, but okay, so something. Oh, thank you, NVIDIA. Yes, I know I need a new driver. Hopefully you guys can't see that. Okay, no, there's our ship. Our ship is actually totally fine. Okay. And we still have the same multi-tool. I'm going to try to get rid of this thing here. Okay, yeah, well, now we're in just a different dimension. Not just a different galaxy, but a different dimension. And this is a jungle planet. Okay, so we get to keep our ship. We just have to repair it, my guess is. It's like going through a black hole, right? Yeah, the ship's basically the same. Guessing it still has the 48 slots. Shields are down. Things are damaged. Suppose I shouldn't be too surprised. Actually, I wanted to tab there. Everything's damaged. Everything is broken. Wow. Okay. That's going to take a little bit to repair. I don't think we have anything in our exosuit. Oh, no, we have a couple of things. But everything in our exosuit is broken, too. Jetpack's broken. Hazard protection is broken. Well, at least they put us on a reasonable world where it's not too much to worry about. How about the multi-tool? Everything in the multi-tool is broken. Even the mining beam. How am I supposed to repair if I don't have a mining beam? Okay, I have enough iron. I can at least repair the mining beam. But that was really just a stroke of luck, wasn't it? I mean, you didn't know I would have enough iron. I just happen to have enough iron. So that seems a little... that seems a little troublesome. They just break everything. The mining beam should be sink or sinked. Everything else is fine. I understand breaking everything else. Breaking the mining beam, though? Alright, but we fixed it. We're okay. Yeah, so I guess everything just starts all over. And then, of course, we can build this out however we want. But, yeah, so we need gravitino balls for these, which we can't find here. I'm going to go to other planets for those. Alright, so, yeah, pretty much starts you over, but not completely. Still get 48 slots in your ship and 48 slots in your suit. You still get to go out and do whatever you want. We still have our Atlas stones here, all 3 of them. But this way we can actually, you know, gather enough Atlas stones and keep them this time. And maybe keeping them makes it so that this stuff doesn't break next time you go. I don't know. I'm totally spitballing. I have no idea. But either way, whether you have Atlas stones or not, you're still totally allowed to start over and in another dimension. And this one's a Hilbert dimension. And from what I understand, there's like 24, I think, dimensions you can go through before the game just stops. I don't know if it actually stops or breaks or crashes or what. Someone's actually gone through and done that every time. And of course, now that I have the jump mod, we could find out. But of course, I'd have to repair my ship, and I'm not going to do that right now. Like I said, this is going to be the last episode, and that's just how it goes. But yeah, that's interesting. That is good to know. So we can get out of here. We can't scan anything, of course, because our analysis visor is critically damaged, but we can repair it. We can totally repair it. I keep hitting escape to access my inventory, and I've done that every time. So analysis visor, we can do that. Scanner, we can repair. Range booster, we can't, though. But still, that should get us in good enough shape. And plasma launcher. Boltcaster? Boltcaster, we can repair. So the base tech, we can totally repair with just what we have on hand. Everything else, though, that's a problem. Alright, and then, of course, we have the distress beacon we have from ourselves. That is, of course, saying, do you want to do the Atlas path again? And then at this point, I think we can just say, no, not going to do it. And a heartbeat, it's gone. I see only debris. I am alone. Alright. That's it. So I think we denied the Atlas Pass. That might have been a mistake, but it doesn't really matter. We'll find out if we decide to continue our journey. I will probably remove a good chunk of the... well, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to uninstall the game, which means that when I start up again, when the new patch hits, whenever that is, I'm not going to have the same loadout. It could be a little problematic. I could end up beneath the world, but if that happens, I'll just restart. No big. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. This has been No Man's Sky. I'm Peace Universe, you're Peace Universe 2. It's been a lot of fun. Hope you guys have enjoyed the game. I know I have. What I understand, it's actually decreased in price in a lot of places now, so if you want to pick it up, I think in some places it's down to below 20 bucks, so I think it's totally worth that price. At least, you know, if you like walking simulators, if you like space themes, if you like, you know, red grass and bulbous trees, then it is totally your bag. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.